Uh, our goal today was to try and invite people of general interest, as well as office bearers from the Siva Vishnu Temple. Do we have representation from the Siva Vishnu Temple? Yes, I see Gautam. We invited the Chinmaya Mission. Do we have representation from Chinmaya Mission here today? Okay. We invited US Impact. Anybody from US Impact? We invited our local Telugu Association office bearers. I see one right there. This was meant to bring groups together so we can begin a dialogue and start cross-pollinating ideas and come together as a community. So I'm glad to see representation from all the groups invited. Why are we here today? Sri Rajiv Malhotra, I'd like to say a few things about him from what I've gathered from his readings. He grew up in Delhi, went to St. Columbus School and St. Stephen's College, but then his parents used to take him to the Ramakrishna Mission frequently on weekends, like Chinmaya Mission here. And that is, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the basis of your spiritual grounding.
And Chinmayanand.
And
I attended Chinmayanandji's Gita classes every summer for my whole, as a growing up child.
And that was the basis for his spiritual grounding. He then came to the US, a very successful entrepreneur, quit at the height of his career, and that was about 20 years ago. Started the Infinity Foundation. He lives in Princeton, New Jersey, and the Infinity Foundation is dedicated to this kind of work. He has produced 4 bestsellers so far, each one on a different topic. He's sponsored chairs in Sanskrit studies at Harvard, at Dartmouth, and the University of Hawaii, so that the Indian voice is heard in academia, rather than the Western's portrayal of what they think India is and what Hinduism is, which is not usually positive and complimentary. Rajiv ji is gifted with, I think, clarity of thought and clarity of speech. And those 2 qualities help bring very complex ideas into very simple language and puts them in perspective. He's a very eloquent speaker. He takes on tough topics, tough problems, does his research very carefully. He's well armed with data, and in dialogues and discussions, he connects with people on their wavelength, in their frameworks. He pulls them out of their comfort zone. So good or bad, like it or not, he pulls people out of their comfort zones and makes them think. To use his own words, he is non-ignorable. Now, the Kurukshetra in Kali Yuga is not a town in Haryana anymore. Kurukshetra in Kali Yuga is the globe. And there are multiple channels where battles are being fought. There are multiple epicenters, and some of those epicenters are in India. The target is Hinduism. The enemy is large, well organized, and well funded, has plenty of resources. Now the question is, collectively, as a people, do we know who the enemy is? Do we know their structure? Do we know their allies? Do we know their reach? How well organized are they? What kind of resources do they have? And do we know the multiple battlefronts where Hinduism is being attacked? We have anecdotal evidence of a certain case here and a certain case there, but have we mapped out the big picture to look at every pixel collectively? But before we start engaging in each small battle, we need to understand that there's a larger strategy at work, and we need to contend with that. So I would like to be non-ignorable too. So I don't wish to offend anyone, but I want to ask rhetorical questions. Is Hinduism worth defending? Do we want to defend it? Are we prepared to defend it? Are we organized well enough to match the enemy? And do we have the will to organize ourselves to put up a credible fight to win? So these are questions that Rajiv ji is asking in his 4 books, and he's providing some answers to them. There's a lot of groundwork that he has already done, a framework that he has defined and put into place that we can all continue to build on. And to briefly describe this and provide an overview of his body of work, I will ask Rajiv ji in the next hour to describe his own experience in life that encouraged him to do this, what triggered his research work in the first place, what were the specific triggers for each book that he has spent the time to research and write, his plans for the future, and how he sees us, let's say the Washington chapter, being able to help him in the future. So without further ado, Rajiv ji, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Shastraji, for inviting me. I must say that since the moment I stepped in this house, there is a tremendous energy here. This is a very positive place. It's a very wonderful place. And I must say, having just met in person and interacted, I feel very glad I'm here. I get a lot of invitations and I have to, prioritize and so on. And but this is the one that I feel is going to be a good beginning of something. I feel that way. I feel a kind of connection. Especially, he's thought through this and brought leaders. It's very important that we should bring leaders together. Many of the events are one group only kind of events, which is fine because if there's a large group and they want to have something for them, it's good. But to bring the leaders of many groups together, as is the case in this room today, is a very important role people need to do. So I'm very happy that somebody's done it. A couple of quick points to his very generous introduction, and then I'll start, telling you about the history of my journey and why I'm here.